So this will be the second video about the digestive system, and we continue from the stomach down towards the end. So let's talk about the intestine. Here is the stomach, and now the small intestines. So the stomach, the content, the chyme go through the pylorus, and we have the pyloric sphincter over there. We have the duodenum, the first part of the small intestine. The second part is jejunum, and the third part is the ileum. The small intestine is very long. It ends with the ileocecal valve, and its function is chemical digestion with the enzymes, and all absorption of the nutrients happens in the small intestine. Now the whole small intestine is suspended by mesentery, and I forgot to write it down. So for the small intestine, write it down. The mesentery attaches the small intestine to its place. Now the pancreas, liver, and the duodenum section working together, because we have to talk about the duodenum is really important. The secretion of the liver and the pancreas goes over there. So we have the right and the left hepatic ducts combined together to form the common hepatic duct. This green stuff is the gallbladder that stores the secretion of the liver, and it's tube that leads the content of the gallbladder is a cystic duct. The cystic duct and the common hepatic duct merges together to form the bile duct, that it eventually will go into the duodenum. And the pancreas is yellow. It's covered by the stomach, so it's kind of a retroperitoneal organ. Has the pancreatic duct that has all of the juicy and enzymatic material in it, and the bile duct and the pancreatic duct forms the hepatopancreatic ampulla. This is kind of a bulging structure, and they have an opening into the duodenum. It's called the duodenal papilla. That's the opening part of the ducts that lead all of the contents from the gallbladder or the liver or from the pancreas into the duodenum. Now, the small intestine, let's go back into the small intestine, and because we learned that it's really important part of the digestion, so get more into depth. The aperture or the diameter of the small intestine is really small. I mean, smaller than the large intestine. That's where the name came from. The functions of the small intestine is the absorption. Now, three structures in the small intestine are the ones that are responsible for the nutrient absorption, and we are going to go step by step through those structures. So paste this picture into your notebook, and let's start. This is the small intestine. Any part, the duodenum, or more like ileum or jejunum or ileum. We have the plicae circularis inside of the small intestine. These are deep folds that increase the surface area for the absorption. Here is a magnified picture. In here we see the plica circularis. It's not, it's plicocircularis now because it's one. And on the surface, we have finger-like projections, and these projections are called villi. So the villi gives the velvety appearance of the small intestine. Getting more microscopic, we have each of them the villus, or altogether the villi. And on the surface, we have simple columnar epithelial cells. These cells have microvilli on their top. So this is the cytoplasmic protrusions outside. So microvilli are the third structures in the small intestine. The brush borders can be called like that. That makes a fuzzy appearance of the intestine that makes the small intestine a great place for nutrient absorption. They increase the surface area, all three of them. Now these red cells are, as we mentioned, and all around in the villus are the surface epithelium that is made out of simple columnar epithelium with microvilli on the cells, on the apical surface of the cells. Inside of the villus, or inside of all of the villi, we have lacteal. Lacteal is a lymphatic capillary system that absorbs the fatty material and also nutrient, mostly the fatty materials, and brings it to the liver. And the last one is what we have in the villi is the capillary network that the arterioles and venules will combine to form the capillaries, and they absorb through the simple columnar epithelium the food from the intestine. Last, the large intestine. Large intestine is large intestine because the diameter is larger, but it's not longer than the small intestine. Its main function is absorbs water and eliminate waste. So it starts with the ileocecal valve that separates the small intestine from the large intestine. And so the large intestine is shorter than small intestine, but wider. You will see on the CAD that the diameter is wider. So it starts over there. It has the appendix, and the inflammation of the appendix is appendicitis. It continues into the cecum, into the colon. The colon will have its different portions. The sigmoid part of the intestine, the rectum, the straight part, and the anal canal that ends with the anus. So these are the major forms. And the colon is separated into ascending colon, transverse colon, as well as descending colons. The colon, the large intestine has no villi, so no nutrient absorption, only water, and it contains haustra, pockets all around the colon, ascending, transverse, and descending colons. And the last, but also very important part of the digestive system is the accessory organs. As we said, they are not in the elementary, the food does not go through of these organs, but they give help to the digestion. So the teeth, the salivary glands, the parotis, sublingual, and lingual salivary glands. Paste the picture over here, and let's go over the three main organs. We are going to focus on three of them. The pancreas, that it's posterior to the stomach, and we call it retroperitoneal organ because it's behind the peritoneum. Peritoneum is a membrane that covers all of the organs in the abdominal cavity. It produces enzymes that break down the carbohydrates, that break down proteins and break down fats. It also produces alkaline fluids to neutralize the acid that comes from the stomach into the small intestine, as well as it also serves as an endocrine organ that produces insulin and glucagon. Insulin and glucagon is not closely related to the digestive system. It's more like the endocrine system. Number 2 organ is the liver. This is the largest gland in the body. It's at the, it's on the right side. Please do not write that it's on the left side. Please, please, please. This is on the right side below the diaphragm and produces bile. And the lobes, the left and the right lobe of the liver is separated by the falciform ligament. This is a remnant. Some parts, especially the inferior part, is a remnant of the umbilical vein from the fetal circulation. The third one, the third accessory organ is the gallbladder that stores bile. The bile production happens in the liver, but the gallbladder stores the bile that it's not used up at that instant. The bile contains some bile salts, cholesterol, phospholipids, and ions. It does not contain enzyme. It is no enzyme in here. It makes, these contents make big fat particles to smaller particles, only physically breaks down the globules, big blobs of fats, but no chemical breakdown happens with the bile. The fat is digested by the pancreatic enzyme. And that's it, I guess.